fired a shot, and nothing happened. No Japs came up over the ridge in that area. They didn't come over anywhere in the whole area. Just way back behind me, in one little area, the Japs, they had a pretty good battle going. So where I was pretty safe. But then it could be daylight. In the daylight, you could see around, and some of the trees were higher than the ridge. They're sticking up. And there was Japs up there shooting down at me. And when it started to get daylight, everyone else left. And they said, you know, the commanding officer, he said, Jim, you stay here and protect the dead and wounded that are around laid out on the ground behind you. And I didn't even know they were there until I turned, because I was always looking this way, and I turned around, and here during the night they laid out all these dead bodies and some of them wounded, waiting for an ambulance or some way to get them to the hospital behind me on the ground, an area about the size of this room, all these people. And I didn't even know they were there. Said, you stay here till they haul off all those bodies and all those wounded. So I had to stay there. And it's getting daylight, and the Japs could see me, and they're up in the trees, and they start shooting at me. Well, an Army fighter plane, of all things, the Army. The Army had some planes that were built for working close to the ground, for ground support, the Bel Air Cobra. It didn't have a supercharger, so it couldn't go up and fight the Jap Zeros. It didn't have enough power at high altitude, but it worked out good at low altitude. We sold thousands of them to the Russians to use for fighting against tanks. And besides the machine guns in the wing, it had a cannon that fired right out through the middle of the propeller. So they'd come down and it worked out real good. Well, I'm laying there, and there was a hole in the ground, but it wasn't long enough for me to stretch out and get down below the ground. But somebody had started to dig a hole in the ground and stop, but it wasn't as long as I was. So I got down as far as I could, and by putting my legs up like this, I could get down in the hole and just have my knees sticking out. Well, I'm laying there, and the bullets are hitting all around my knees. I mean, this is it. I'm going to be shipped out of here with a hole in my knee. But they didn't hit me. But one of these Army planes comes over, and he sees in a vacant field, big field with no trees in it, that I can't see at all. But he can see, I find out later, you know. And he sees all these Japs milling around in this field. So where he comes down in to shoot at them, he's shooting right through the tops of the trees that are around me. And he makes this pass, and then the Japs don't shoot at me anymore. So I don't get shot at anymore. Well, boy, I thought I was going to get it that night.